Hi everyone, Danielle here, and welcome back to day 2 of our Spring Watercolor Card Challenge. Today we will be painting the Monarch Butterfly. This is one of my favorite butterflies and it's very simple to paint. If you are new to this challenge and want to start from day 1, I will put a link to that video in the description below. I also have daily reminders, so if you want to email every day on what our assignment is, I can link that down below as well. And this is also how you can access our hidden day 6 lesson. So let's quickly talk about supplies. As you can see, there are white spots on this butterfly. I went ahead and used a white gel pen for that, but if you want to mask off those areas, you can do that as well. Besides the supplies that we used yesterday, we're also going to be using a water brush and some India ink. This is optional. You do not have to have this to complete this painting. Another optional item is this Shimmer watercolor paints. I got these from Target in the kids section and I just thought I would try these out. We are going to start off our sketch with a rectangle, and this rectangle is just going to be our guideline so that we can get our wings the same size on each side. So I'm going to draw my rectangle and then draw a line down the very middle so I can see where the body's going to land. Let's go ahead and lightly sketch in his head and body. I have decided to put together a Pinterest board for us so that you can hop over there and kind of look at the reference photos just so you can get an idea for the shapes and the designs of this butterfly. We're going to go ahead and start to sketch out his wings. And we're going to use these guidelines on the side that we made before so that we can hit the same points on each side. Now I do want to let you know that you don't have to draw your butterfly the same way I am. You can put your own flair and your own style to it. What I like to do is make the overall shape without any details or anything like that. And then I'll go back and make some little curves and then erase away what I don't need. And so you're just gradually building up your shape. Now we can start on some of the designs on the inside of the butterfly. Again, at this point, you can kind of use your artistic freedom to design whatever kind of details you want to inside of the wings. The areas I'm drawing in right now are going to be the areas that have color inside of them, and that everything that's left over will be just filled in with black. I like to start with the larger areas first and then go down to the smaller little sections. Now we can start the painting process. I'm going to start with a warm yellow, and I've kind of watered it down quite a bit, and I have my smaller, this is my number 5 watercolor brush. So as you can see, I'm just going into all of those areas that I just drew out, and they're not an even wash. I like that painterly look, and so that's what I'm doing. Some areas have more paint, some areas have watered down paint. Go ahead and dry that layer of yellow. And I'm just going to use some scrap watercolor paper to kind of figure out what kind of orange I want to put on top of this next layer. So you see I'm just testing a few different oranges and yellows and mixing those together. So at this point, I'm going to add in my orange to my yellow. I'm not being really picky about this. I'm kind of just letting it go and putting it down in random areas. Do be mindful of how much water you have in your brush, because the more water you have in your brush and you're kind of just moving it around that yellow color that's underneath, it is more likely to lift that paint. So you want to make sure that you have quite a bit of orange on your brush as you're covering that previous layer. So now you can go ahead and dry that layer, and you can see I wanted to add a little bit of like a pinkish reddish orange because I wanted to deepen up that orange color. So I'm just making a few swatches to see how much red I want to put into that orange. And just like I kind of explained yesterday, as we add darker colors, I'm going to use a bit less of it because I still want to see that orange coming through and that yellow coming through from our previous layers. I really like when the paint runs outside of whatever I'm painting. So I'm going to add a little bit of paint on the outside of my butterfly. Now the next thing we're going to do is the black areas of the butterfly. So just make sure everything is dry before this step. I have some P.H. Martin's Bombay India ink and a water brush from Jane Davenport, and I'm going to use this to fill in my black areas of the butterfly. I kind of felt like it may be more convenient to do it this way so that I'm not keep having to dip into my black. If you don't have these supplies, just use your paintbrush and some black watercolor paint. You can see that I can get this really nice black, but I did put some water in this. It's not just straight ink, so I did dilute it just a little bit. So all you have to do now is start painting your black. This will take a couple coats, but what happens is as you work from one side to the other, the previous side dries, so you really don't have to wait that long in between coats. I love this part because you really kind of see the butterfly coming into shape. And it's okay if you have some uneven areas of your black paint because that'll give more variation to the butterfly. I'm going to use the very tip of my brush to draw in the antennae. And I actually grabbed a smaller brush than what I had before. I think this might be like a number 3 or number 2, because I also wanted to clean up my edges around the yellow parts. So now you can grab your white gel pen. I'm using the Uniball white gel pen, and I'm going to just kind of warm it up and let the ink flow over here on my scrap paper. And then I'm going to just start putting all of my white spots in. So now we can add the pearlescent accents. And I wasn't sure about this paint, so I had tested it in my sketchbook first before I put it on this one, and I really love the way it looks. It's kind of hard to show on camera, but it does give that kind of shimmery look to your paint. So I'm just going to grab some of this yellow and put it down in a few areas just to add a little bit of shine and shimmer. Again, it's kind of hard to see, but the person that you give this card to will definitely be able to see it show up. We are all done. So the next thing you need to do is clean up your spot so that you're ready for tomorrow's card. It is a side folding card, so just make sure that you go ahead and tape your stuff down, clean out your water, and have your paintbrushes all clean. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 3.